For EP, climbing walls and handholds is our business, but that's really not why we're here. We're here to enrich people's lives and introduce climbing to the world. We know that once somebody gets an opportunity to go indoors and climb on a climbing wall, that they're going to be hooked and they're going to be a climber for life.
Welcome to Kranj, Slovenia. This beautiful city in the shadow of the mountains this weekend plays host to the IFSC Climbing World Cup. The world's finest climbers have descended on Central Europe to put themselves to the ultimate test right here in Slovenia. We had a wonderful batch of semi-finals last night with no shortage of thrills and spills, and our route setters have promised to set courses which will end this final World Cup event of the season with a bang. Who will come out on top? You join us here in Kranj, Slovenia, for the 20th anniversary of climbing in this venue. And as you can see, the female athletes currently being paraded onto the stage. We've got two finals coming up this evening, both the men and the women's finals. I'm Stephen Jameson. I'm delighted to say I'm joined by German climber Seb Helenke, who will be providing his expert analysis throughout this evening. But plenty of passion on show here. A big hometown following for a few of our climbers who are representing their country here in Slovenia. But a very good evening to all of you around the world tuning in this evening, or even in the morning, depending on where you're watching from. It is a pleasure to have you with us for this IFSC World Cup here in Kranj.
Let me ask you to pay a minute of silence to remember a friend, a climber, who is not
Before the competition gets underway this evening, we'll be having a minute's silence for the awful tragedy recently in Paris, and also to remember Rémi Bergas, the French climber who sadly lost his life on Wednesday.
At the same time, I want also to remember all the victims that we had in Paris a couple of days ago, and I want to pay an additional moment of silence to all the victims of terrorism. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Respect to all the victims. So now, ladies and gentlemen, men finalists.
So a touching moment there.
And we start on
As you can see, some of our French climbers looking particularly emotional. They'll be hoping to channel that this evening as the observation starts. Our climber Adam Ondra getting a little bit excited, getting ready to tackle the female wall. He might do well in that final, but he wants to compete in the men. But as I say, Seb Helenke joins us this evening. A very good evening to you, Seb. You okay?
Hello, good evening to all of you, to all the ones who are watching, and of course to you as well. Well, it's nice to be commentating again, of course. It would be even nicer to climb here in this final round. I always like Kranj. It's like actually my favorite competition. It's my favorite wall here. And the final routes always look so awesome here. So it's a disappointment, but it's nice to be commentating here with you. And I guess we're going to have a great time together.
We certainly will. It's the next best thing, eh? If you're not competing, you want to be commentating.
Yeah, that's true. If I'm not competing, well, if I'm not climbing in finals, then it's good to be in co-commentary, because in this way you just forget about your disappointment and you can enjoy watching finals too.
Well, we certainly hope to enjoy it. The route setters this weekend have promised us fireworks. That was the word they used when I was talking to them yesterday in terms of what we can expect from these routes. You climbed the semi-final routes yesterday, Seb. It was pretty difficult, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was difficult. Actually, the single movements were kind of easier than I expected. Like the first part of the route up to the roof, I had easier movements than I expected, but the moves were nice to climb for sure. And then, yeah, it was like really endurance-based towards the top, and you had to climb a lot of movements, and mainly up there you had to find some kind of tricky sections with knee bars and stuff like that. So it was a very varied way of route setting, and it was cool, yeah.
It certainly has been a brilliant competition so far. As you say, the finals are coming up this evening. We've got the women and the men's final. We'll start you through the start list of the men. We have Romain Desgranger of France, Gautier Supper, also of France. The Czech Republic climber Adam Ondra will be next up, followed by the Japanese athlete Minoru Nao. Then we've got Ramon Julian Poblanque of Spain. Sean McColl of Canada is next. Domen Skofic of Slovenia competing in his home country, before Jakob Schubert will complete the men's final from Austria.
Yeah, we've got a very strong finals field, as usually we do, and it's going to be a really exciting final to watch. I've already checked the route and it just looks so hard, but in the same time just so interesting to climb. I'm really curious to see the guys climbing in it.
We are very excited for that, and don't forget we've also got the women's final as well. Christine Schranz of Austria will be first up, followed by French athletes Helene Janicot and Matilda Becerra. And then Jessie Pilz will be next up from Austria, and the hometown favourite Mina Markovic from Slovenia. And then she's followed by the Belgian athlete Anak Verhoeven and the South Korean climber Jain. And then we round it off with the Slovenian climber Janja Garnbret, the only climber this weekend to top out in all the climbs she's done. She's been fantastic, only 16 years of age, competing in her home country, and she's showing the more experienced climbers just how it's done.
Yeah, that was so impressive. I saw her semi-final climb yesterday, and in general the way she came up, just crushing into this World Cup circuit, and already from the youth everybody knew she was super strong, but the way she just crushed this field, it's so impressive to watch. And also the way she's climbing really freely, but with a lot of confidence and so much power and endurance. She's just got everything what you need to be as a professional climber.
Yeah, for such a young athlete, she seems to almost have no fear.
Yeah.
Is that a youth thing, or is that just a general confidence thing because she is that talented?
Well, it's hard to say. I mean, for sure it's a youth thing. I think if you're not that experienced yet and you don't have such high expectations yet, also you're having less fear for sure, and you're thinking less. And with the age that can change a bit, or usually it does change a bit, but also this is something what you kind of train as a professional athlete, to switch off your mind, to switch off thoughts and doubts, and just do not think at all anymore. Just let all your sensations go and flow and do it without thinking.
Well, she certainly has been doing that. As I say, the only climber this weekend to top out in all three of her climbs. Qualification twice and also in the semi-finals. And you're going to see the athletes here checking out the routes, inspecting them and figuring out the best way to go. The Slovenians and teaming up, and we've got the three male athletes there figuring out the best way to go for them. What's going through your mind at this stage, Seb, when you're looking at the route for the first time? What's the first thing you think of?
Well, the first thing I was thinking of was like, wow, there is so many volumes inside. But it's a common thing here in Kranj, which is one part of why I like this competition so much. And then the second thing was just right away thinking, wow, this route is so exciting. And well, thinking about it a little bit more, or reading it a little bit more, I found it a great mixture of fitness and endurance based, but at the same time you've got really complex movements, you've got a few really dynamic movements. I would say this route seemingly has everything what a good route needs to have.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the route setters would have set out to do ahead of this one. You can see up the wall there's a few almost strange volumes, especially at the start of the men's. You notice there are a few volumes right at the bottom. That's quite unusual so far that we've seen.
Well, it's in the last competitions it has been unusual. Here in Kranj that kind of often happens actually, but it's a cool thing, because if you first of all, observe a route like this, and as an athlete you have to remember you only have got 6 minutes to watch that route. It's kind of confusing, and you watch there the volume, and maybe somewhere just in a small edge there's some tiny little hold where you can grab. So it's one thing is that it's exciting to watch, and the other thing it's even making it a bit harder for the athletes, and some of them it will already bring them out a little bit from the beginning. So that's a good thing to do, I guess.
We now run you through the officials here in Kranj this weekend. Our IFSC technical delegate is Christophe Bion of France. Our jury president is Markus Filaffer from Austria. Our judge is Ola Morten Olsen from Norway. Our chief route setter is Jan Zabranek of Czech Republic. And our 2 other route setters are Simon Morgan of Slovenia and Aljosa Grom, also of Slovenia. They're the 3 responsible for these crazy-looking routes here in Kranj. As Seb mentions, we are used to seeing that in Kranj by now.
Yeah, that's quite true.
We are certainly looking forward to that. Competition is coming up very, very shortly. We can now show you the lead rankings in the men's competition. That's how it stands currently. This is the final lead event of the year, the final World Cup event. So at the end of it, we will have a lead winner for the entire season. Gautier Supper leads the way, followed by Ondra and Jakob Schubert. All 3 of them, in fact, all of the top 7 are competing in the final. And there's our very own Seb Helenka currently in 7th place.
Yeah, I'm right now in this unlucky position of still having or I would have had the chance to still improve my ranking, but well, with that it's over, but never mind. At the end it doesn't really matter if it's the 6th or the 7th or the 8th place. I'm amongst the top 10. It has been my first complete World Cup season at all. So yeah, I guess it was just like a kind of experience here, and for that it was going relatively good. Could have gone better, but it was going pretty good.
So plenty of improvements for next season. Are you excited for next season already?
Yeah, for sure. I am excited, but definitely right now I'm most of all excited to have a little time off, because I have been pretty tired, mainly towards the end of the season. There are a lot of competitions, and keeping up like all the mental energy and the focus for so many months, it's kind of tiring. And I had experienced this the first time this year in a way like this, because I never had a whole season to climb. So yeah, I'm looking forward for a little time off, just going to the rocks or relaxing a little bit. But afterwards, I know I'm going to be super motivated again, and I'm already looking forward to get even stronger and better to crush next year.
We hope so. We can now show you the women's lead rankings for the season so far. Slovenian Mina Markovic currently leads the way, 4, 6, 7 points. Jain Kim is just behind her. Jessie Pilz is in 3rd, Anak Verhoeven in 4th, Helene Janicot in 5th, Yuka Kobayashi in 6th. She's not in the final, and neither is Janja Garnbret of Slovenia. Really weird happening with Janja Garnbret yesterday in the semi-finals. She slipped off the 2nd hold, and her entire semi-final climb lasted all of about 10 seconds. It was such a strange one, and she was so disappointed as well. She's from Kranj here in Slovenia. It was her hometown climb, and it was the worst possible way to do it.
Oh yeah, that's something really ungrateful. But yeah, it happens again. That's climbing. In China a few weeks ago, it happened to Stefano Cisolfi in the semi-final route, slipping on the first move. So these things can happen in climbing.
It really is a very unique sport, and a very, very exciting one as well. You can just see there the wide image of the wall, the yellow routes for the women and the black route for the men. What you can't see is when it gets really, really tough up in the roof section, because that looks, well, crazy.
Yeah, it looks really hard for sure. I mean, there are a few movements that could be a little bit easier, but when I say easy, it's not literally to understand. It's still pretty hard, but a little bit less intense, let's say. But through there is so many sections which look incredibly hard, but really exciting to climb.
Yeah, we're certainly looking forward to watching. You just look here, the athletes scoping out this route There's the two Frenchmen figuring out how they're going to go. And Adam Ondra, when he eventually figured out which route he was climbing, checking out the men's route.
Well, luckily he found the right one still. Well, it has already happened that there was a wrong final route observed by one of the athletes. That was, I think, 3 years ago at the European Championship, if I remember well. Cédric Lachat observing the females final and then realizing afterwards, and then coming out into the final round, just having a quick look at the route and then just starting in without having even observed it at all.
There you can see the graphic on your screen. That's the final for the men. And that is a long, long roof section along the top of that second crest there. It'll be the real acid test for these athletes.
Yeah, it's a pretty long line actually, because the wall in itself is not too high, but the route has got quite a few movements actually, because you have got some left and right turns, and yeah, I'm really curious to see the guys climbing in it.
So once again, the confirmed lineup in the final: Ramon Julian and Gautier Supper of France, Adam Ondra of the Czech Republic, Minoru Nao of Japan, Ramon Julian of Spain, Sean McColl of Canada, Domen Skofic of Slovenia, and Jakob Schubert of Austria. You see there the two French climbers will be up on the wall first. They're just getting ready, listening to some music to psych themselves up. You can see there the wide angle. You can see how crazy that wall gets up towards the top.
Yeah.
But what's going through your mind right at this point when you know you're just about to attack the wall for the final? Is it nerves, is it adrenaline, or do you try and focus all of that out and just focus purely on the challenge of the climb?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to do. Like, I'm trying to switch off my thinking by complete, and when I'm mentally still fresh and like at the beginning of the year that works really good, then I just have got nothing of thoughts in my mind. Just the pure sensation of right away going to climb and the excitement for sure.
So here we go, the first athlete here this evening is Ramon Julian of France. First up in the men's final.
Yeah, yesterday he wasn't quite satisfied about his semi-final climb. Actually, he climbed pretty much the same way as I did, just going a little bit more for the plus than myself, so he got the plus. And
not bitter at all though.
yeah, it was like, for me, I didn't move up enough anymore, like my hip was still not moving up yet, and for him he was going for the move. So yeah, he was also kind of disappointed about his go, because for sure he could have also done.
Wow! You see there the first jump.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about at the beginning. This route is so varied. You have got the jump, you have got also other sections that you will see which are way more technical and slow to climb. So it's a lovely route for sure.
As we mentioned at the top, the route setters promised us fireworks, and right at the start of the men's route, we've certainly seen some already from Ramon Julian of France. He topped out in both of his qualifying climbs, score of 40.5 in the semi-finals, claiming a joint 6th place along with about 5 other athletes as well. His qualifying times, or scores rather, certainly helped him out in getting to this final.
I think this one is a pretty, wow, what a great climbing. That was looking really strong. Well, that's a very exciting movement actually, because the volume, it's so hard to hold with the CAC. It has got nothing on it, and you just basically cannot move away statically from this. It's a really exciting route.
We're certainly seeing some fireworks already. You can see there the black pinch on the top of that roof section. We're just starting to see Roman here head towards the first roof section.
And I'm really surprised about his climbing, because I know he actually doesn't like this type of climbing so much. He prefers rather endurance-based climbing with crimps and many movements. But this route isn't like that at all. And he's still climbing so good in it, and he hasn't done any mistake yet. He's doing a great performance.
But it only takes one tiny mistake, and that will be the end of your climb.
And as you can see, the route has been already hard until here, but it doesn't get easier at all. It just keeps on being so hard and intense.
You can see there the two horseshoe-shaped pinches that Roman is gripping onto right at the top of the wall. So difficult to get a handhold on them. You can see how little grip he has right at the very tips of his fingers. He stretches up. But he's certainly competing very, very well so far. Is Dejoux?
He is having an amazing run here in this route. I believe on the next hold it might be possible to shake a little bit, but not wasting too much of time. But I'm not sure. But I believe, yeah, now it's a little bit less intense, still super hard.
And you can see there, Roman is completely horizontal, adjacent to the wall.
And now he's going to have to swing his feet to this yellow volume. Yeah, well, is he going to do it? Really strong. What an amazing performance.
Wowie, that is certainly
absolutely great climbing.
Incredible stuff so far from Ramon Julian. Can he hold on and move himself throughout the route? You can see there every single muscle in his arms and legs straining, and he just drops out.
Well, that was a great performance, and I'm not sure, he doesn't seem happy, but I believe this was a really good performance on this route, and I'm not sure how many other competitors are going to be able to climb that far. He didn't do any mistake until there. Up to this point, he just climbed perfectly, and everything in a nice flow, everything getting right in the way he had to, and it was an awesome go. And wow, this route looks so hard, especially because you've got many hard movements, but not any real resting position at all.
Yeah, so you've got to avoid your arms getting pumped. That's the really dangerous thing of these climbs, where you have no real rest stops.
Yeah, for sure, and mainly in a route which has still so many movements, you basically need sometimes some less intense section to rest, but there it's not existing at all in this route, so this makes it so intense.
So here comes Gautier Supper, also of France, the 25-year-old. Has finished listening to his iTunes playlist, and he's now going to make his way out into the arena, making the final adjustments to his footwear. And he's going to follow in the footsteps of his fellow countryman Ramon Julian, who led him out in this one.
Yeah, and it's also going to be really exciting to watch his performance, because for him it's still about the overall title, the whole World Cup ranking, which is battling with Ondra. And also Jakob Schubert still playing quite a big role. So it will be really interesting to see how does he climb in this route.
It certainly will be. Gautier Supper currently leads the way, as Seb mentioned there, in the overall standings in the lead climbing World Cup. He's had a couple of first positions already this season. Hasn't missed a final. He's been there or thereabouts, but he's qualified fairly low in this final. But never underestimate this man. Currently ranked third in the world is Gautier Supper.
He has had such a strong year this year, I have to say. It was very impressive to see. And in quite a few of the finals, he just climbed so solidly. Like the first in Briançon this year was his first victory, and it was so impressive how he won that competition, like with quite a good dominance.
Do you think he's got what it takes to win this one?
It's really hard to say, because in this competition I would give Ondra and him more or less the same chances to win, but also towards the end of this season Adam has become stronger and stronger, and I believe he really likes this type of climbing here, and it's very much his style. Gautier should also look pretty good on that route, because he likes the aggressive and powerful climbing and not so much endurance-based climbing. So it's really difficult to say who is going to make it.
And that's exactly what we want to see. We want to see a final that goes right to the wire. I think we will see that. As Gautier drops off. Gautier Supper loses his footing.
Oh, what a disappointment. That was so unexpected. He was looking so good up to that point. Super solid, super strong. Seemed quite relaxed, and I was sure he was going to stick that movement, even it's kind of hard and tricky but he looked just solid up to this point. And well,
He looks
these are
almost
the
in
things-
shock, Gautier Supper.
Mhm.
He can't
that's
quite believe what's
climbing.
happened.
Yeah.
That is climbing. That's exactly what can happen. We saw it happen in the semi-finals last night with our Slovenian athlete, and now Gautier Supper has lost it early on here in Kranj. You can see here the precise moment where he just lost his footing as he looked to grasp onto that hold. But he looked so strong. This is the moment where he lost it, just falling off.
Unfortunately, just the right hand slipping, and well, it was absolutely unexpected, and he didn't expect it at all. Yeah, as you can see here, the hand just randomly slipped, and I'm sure he is really disappointed, and he doesn't probably even know what really happened there, I guess. I know this feeling because to myself it happened this year, earlier on in Norway, where my foot just slipped and I was suddenly down and I didn't know what really happened.
And let's meet our next athlete. It's Adam Ondra of the Czech Republic. We're really looking forward to see Adam climb. But having watched Gautier Supper come back into the call room very, very quickly, Adam will know this is a real chance to take the lead in the overall standings.
Absolutely, I think that's the chance for Adam. And I believe if he does a good go here, and I'm sure he's going to do a good go, it's probably going to be his victory. Not only of this World Cup, but of the whole season as well.
So Adam is about to take the wall here. The 22-year-old from Brno in the Czech Republic, ranked #1 in the world. Topped out in both of his qualifying climbs. A little bit disappointing in the semi-final.
Yeah, in the semi-final he could have also climbed definitely further, and he looked actually more solid than most of all the other climbers, even still on top there, but then his foot yesterday slipped and he almost didn't reach finals with that anymore. It was like really,
very close.
Yeah, really close, but yeah, I'm happy for him. He still managed to do it, and I'm so curious to see him here in this one.
You can see there the tiny grip that Adam has to adopt there for those tiny little crimps. All his body weight in the very tips of his fingers, and he's so strong as he goes up the wall. One of our quicker climbers as well is Adam Ondra. He always seems to not take his time about things.
So now it's coming the exciting movement, and yeah, he sticks it. Very well done. Really good. And he's still looking absolutely solid and fresh, and I'm curious how he's going to move on.
So we saw Ramon Julian master this section of the wall really, really well. It was a really exciting start from the Frenchman. Gautier Supper had already dropped off at this point, but Adam Ondra now just taking a little breather, shaking his left arm out, trying to prevent the build-up of the dreaded lactic acid in his arms.
Yeah, and now it already carries on being pretty hard. We saw earlier on Ramon Julian there already struggling a little bit, and I hope he's still able to clip actually. Oh yeah, he does. That's good.
Yeah, if you're new to lead climbing, you must clip into all the clips, and then your score is based on how many of the holds you get up to.
And he's
going very well.
Still looking absolutely fresh, and if you have watched Ramon Julian before, already these movements have been so hard, but he still looks pretty fresh. I think actually the way he's climbing here in this route today, he has a very good chance to win this competition. I'm curious.
He really does make it look so easy, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. It's looking really impressive.
So we're approaching the point of the climb here where Ramon Julian just fell away.
Yeah, a few movements more and then he's on the point where Ramon Julian fell. And I think now it starts being pretty hard. You can remember switching the feet from Ramon Julian.
And you can see there the
looks
spider-like limbs of Adam Ondra.
Still
moving
looking
on.
so good. Now he's taking the lead with that. And this next movement looks really hard, but he does it. He goes for it. Just a few moves away from the top anymore. Is he going to be able to top it?
Absolutely fantastic
Really
so
good,
far
really
from Adam
strong.
Ondra.
He's still on the wall. This is becoming so intense here. Finding a little position to shake. And now I think he just has got to go for it. Absolutely, wow.
Just trying
Yeah, I
to
think
build up the
moving
strength in
up
his
there
arm.
is so hard because you don't have any foothold with your left foot, so you cannot do a lot with your feet, and just having to pull.
That's
And
the hold
these
he's
holds
looking
are
for.
so tiny. But he's still on the wall, doing an absolutely impressive performance.
He's gone
What
further
can he
than
do
Roman
here?
Grange managed.
And he reaches the next hold. Unbelievable strong. And one more movement. Wow. Incredible performance. I think this might even give him the victory of the day. Super strong.
That was really something special from the Czech Republic climber Adam Ondra. Phenomenal feat of strength and endurance. And he currently leads the way in the Kranj Climbing World Cup, the final event of the season. And Adam Ondra sets the benchmark, third in this final. Still 5 more athletes to come, but that will take some beating.
Yeah, that was impressive. And he also had a perfect climb, just like Ramon Grange, but you could see he was just so, even on the point where Ramon Grange, who is a super strong competitor, was tired, he still looked so solid. But then these next few movements are even so intense.
And you can see there just how much it was taking out of him. It was a really, really intense climb. And this is just where he lost it. Just couldn't quite grab his right leg around and move on to that next hole. But he's very, very close to the top there. He's only a few moves away.
Yeah, I think those were just like 4 moves far from the top. And, well, I do not think that we're going to see here a top today in this route. It would be quite exciting, but this route just looks so hard.
They have certainly put these athletes to the absolute maximum of their abilities. There's the hometown favourite, that's Janja Garnbret. She's coming up later in the women's final. Our
strong
16-year-old
newcomer.
superstar who has topped out in every climb she's had so far as we delve into the bowels of the arena here in Kranj. And some of the athletes there just warming up. That's our French athlete, Matilda Becerra. As we wait for our next male competitor. It's Minoru Nao of Japan. The 31-year-olds.
Yeah,
from
already
Hiroshima.
pretty old competitor actually, and I haven't seen him before much. Only this year, the first time when I realized about him was actually in Briançon when he came second. But I think he is like rather older of the age. He doesn't have that much World Cup experience yet, but I'm not sure.
Well, he's, as Seb mentioned there, he did come second earlier on in this World Cup competition. He also got a final last time out in Wujiang, but other than that, this is only his 3rd final of the year. A very good climb so far for him in Kranj, but can he follow that up in the final? But you know he did well in the semi-final because the men who went before him, who didn't quite qualify as well, are some of the best in the world.
Oh, look at that. He was doing the movement statically with a heel hook. That's also an interesting way of doing it. I was already expecting that he didn't like to jump there, but I didn't know if it was actually possible to do this movement without jumping. But he just proved it was possible to do. And now let's see how he's carrying on.
It's very interesting, isn't it, when you see climbers go through different routes. We saw Jan Hoyer yesterday of Germany do the crazy jump up to the top of the pinch, and no other athlete took that on. Did you know he was going to do that?
No, I actually didn't know about that. Like, we didn't speak much after the observation anymore and before he went out. But yeah, it was an incredible way of doing it. I didn't even get this idea, and I think neither the rest of the climbers had this idea in mind. It was, yeah, it was a cool beta of doing it, and yeah, I'm happy for him. He did a great competition and he got well into the lead climbing.
Here we see Minoru Nao just moving up to that black volume where there's no real grip, no real purchase.
And I believe this one he does have to jump, and oh no.
Well, as you suspected, Seb, he wasn't too comfortable with the jumping aspect of this climb, and Minoru Nao drops out of the men's final relatively early on into the climb.
Yeah, the problem is I think he wanted to do it like kind of static, so he didn't want to do like a real double dyno, but this volume, you cannot just hold it. When your body swings out, it's impossible to keep the hip in and to compress it.
Really is a difficult part of the climb, and so often we see in climbing the start of the route is often nice and simple until you get up to the top, and that's where it gets difficult. But this final is tough right from the very start.
Absolutely.
You just see the
And
moment
in quite
there
a few movements, you really have to be able to bear the momentum in the right way. And if you have got the wrong timing, you're just off the wall.
see just how hard Minoru Nao had to work to keep himself on the wall at that stage, but he couldn't quite complete that jump, which is what let him down.
Yeah, an unfortunate early fall there for him, but well, he has already done 3 finals this year, which is a great progress, and I'm curious if he's going to be on stage next year again,
So looking forward to seeing him later on in this competition. And there's Jesse Pilz, the Austrian climber, who's been one of the stars of the circuit in 2015. She'll be coming up later on in the women's final. Just going through her warm-up procedures. Just a reminder for those of you watching on the stream, if you'd like to get in touch, the hashtag is IFSCWC. That's the hashtag we're using on Twitter. Let us know where you're watching from, who you're rooting for. We'll give the best ones a shout out here in Kranj.
And I believe the next one should be Ramon Julian. And about him, I'm really curious how he's going to do it, because he's such a small competitor, and I know he doesn't like jumps at all, especially because of his size as well. But I really wish him best of luck, that he's going to be able to stick the jumps and do a great performance here.
So here comes Ramon Julian, the 34-year-old from Spain. He qualified with 2 tops in qualification and a very strong performance in the semi-final as well. But as Seb mentioned, one of the shorter competitors.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe he has got only 153 of height, which is super small, and it's impressive what he's still able to do with his size. I mean, for him, quite a few movements are just so much harder than for other competitors. And now comes the first jump. I really hope he will stick it.
So here comes Ramon, the first jump of the climb.
I really wish him to do this jump. And
just taking his time. There he goes.
He does it. Very nice.
Sticks it.
Well
Brilliant
done.
from Ramon Julian.
Solid jump. I'm glad he did it. First sketchy part done for Ramon.
He's got a second jump coming up in a little moment, but as you can see there in the timer on the bottom right of your picture, they do have plenty of time, these climbers, to get up this wall. There's no real time constraints. They have 8 minutes, but it's very rare that a climber will be on the wall for that full time length. And Ramon knew he could take his time with that jump, prepare himself fully, and he made it.
Yeah, luckily he made it. Yeah, and the 8 minutes, it's like 8 minutes don't seem a lot of time, but it's really hard to hold on these bad crimps and slopers for even more than 4 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So now Ramon is about to approach the next tricky section for him, and I really hope he's going to do this second jump as well. I really wish it for him.
So here comes up to that black volume with the CAC logo on it. That's Climbing Against Cancer. Brilliant foundation. He's does so much good work
around the world. Is he going to do it?
Here he comes.
Ale Ramon. Very nice.
Fantastic.
What a solid jump. He did it so good.
Absolutely brilliant from Ramon Julian.
But now what is he doing with his feet? I think he's struggling to reach the next hold, actually. And it's pretty hard to step there, but he reaches. Very nice.
You can see there every single muscle working so hard in Ramon's arms. Brilliant work to get to this point. Can he move himself up to the roof section?
Struggling a little bit, but he gets the next hold, and very nice. Wow, really good. Ramon finally not falling off a jump. That's nice to see, because he has been struggling with that quite a few times.
He certainly nailed the 2 jumps. And will the rest of the course suit a climber like Ramon?
Pardon?
Will the rest of the course suit a climber like
Well,
Ramon who maybe doesn't favour the jumps, but the slower,
I'm not
methodical?
sure because there are a few more pretty long movements, but I believe he has done these 2 jumps which were absolutely not his style, so I know he for sure will be able to do really good on the rest of the route as well. I'm curious to see this next upcoming section because it still has got a few more long movements, but he's still looking quite good, so
He certainly
let's
is.
see what happens. This movement is long and he grabs it,
Brilliant work
but
from
he's
Ramon
not quite on
Julian
the hole
Poblanca.
yet. Oh yeah, now he's
You can
getting
see
the
there
toe hook in.
every single limb extended to its full capacity as he looks to get his frame around the sides of that pinch, and he can move himself up beyond this roof section of the wall here in Kranj.
also reaching next hold, and yeah, it can be for sure said that for him quite a few of these movements have been harder than for the taller athletes, but he still managed to do them in a pretty solid way. Still looking good. Very nice.
Nicely done from Ramon Julian Poblanca as he moves towards the second roof section.
Really strong climbing here from Ramon.
And this is the section of the climb which has proved most difficult so far for Romain Dejoux and Adam Ondra, the 2 other climbers who've reached this stage. This second roof section is so tough. Some very, very long movements required all the way from that black volume you can see at the top of your picture to that yellow volume sticking out of the roof.
And here you can see Ramon's impressive endurance ability. Like, he has got so much resistance in places where other competitors are not able to wait just a few seconds more. He's just able to take some rest. He's having such an amazing physical ability as I think almost not any other climber in this world.
So here he comes then up to this black volume, Ramon Julian Poblanca. What can he produce? You can see there he's completely horizontal to the wall. And he's now going to try and spider his way along this roof. Oh, nicely done.
And now another tricky part, but it looked really, really solid for him. I think this movement didn't cause him any troubles.
Wow, that's
And
incredible.
Wow, he is still looking so solid.
Trying to do it in as few movements as possible, and that's superb from Ramon Julian Poblanca. One of the smallest climbers on the circuit.
Struggling a little bit with his foothold positions, but he's still on. And yeah, he grabs the next hole. Wow, and he still seems to have steam. Impressive climbing. So now he's starting to challenge Adam soon.
That's the next task for Ramon, to see if he can get beyond Adam Ondra's climb. He's not far away from doing it, but he just falls.
He just fell there. I think the trouble was he didn't get inside the clip. So as he didn't get inside the clip right in time, he couldn't take so much time there anymore to put his feet in a good position for moving on. So that's a pity. I believe he could have done there still a little bit more, but it was a great effort, and this route was for sure not made for Ramon, and he did a very solid go here.
Yeah, the odds were stacked against Ramon Julian Poblanca, but very, very solid climb, and he'll move into a minimum of second place. I think Adam Ondra just grabbed the hold ahead of him in his climb, but a very, very, very good effort from Ramon Julian Poblanca. You see there the 2 jumps he had to take on.
Yeah.
And this
And
was
as
an
you can
incredible
see
bit.
here, these holes are still so tiny, which you have to grab there on the big volumes.
And this is a section where he just lost it. Couldn't quite get his foot in the best position, and there he fell away. But an amazing effort from Ramon.
Yeah, absolutely great performance here from him.
And you can see there the amount of pressure on the right at the tip of your toes to hold on to these positions is so, so difficult. And it's worth pointing out as well that by that point, they're almost backwards to the ground. You're fighting not only the strength in your arms, but also gravity at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. You're fighting the gravity there.
So we take a look at some of our female competitors just using the warm-up wall in the bowels of the arena here in Kranj. That's Mina Markovic, ranked #1 in the world on the female circuit. But we return to the men's final, and here comes Sean McColl of Canada.
Sean McColl. that's also going to be really interesting to see how Sean does on this route, because it actually should suit his style pretty well. He's a very athletic, bouldery-based climber. He has got all the technical abilities to do this route. I'm not sure if with the length of the route he might have some troubles, because it still has got quite a few movements. So in some point he just might fall off pretty tired. But I believe the lower section of the route is going to suit him perfectly.
Well, he'll be certainly happy with that as the countdown timer starts on Sean McColl's climb. Plenty of you watching from around the world here. Hashtag IFSCWC. Ethan Walker's got in touch. Stuff of nightmares, those slick and shiny black volumes. But our climbers have made short work of them so far.
And of course the jump, no stress at all for Sean McColl.
And Beowulf Cadmus has got in touch saying it's almost impossible to predict a favourite. And Nick Durr says Ramon can jump. He certainly can.
Yes, he proved it to all of us. Ramon is able to do jumps, even if they're sketchy and not easy.
So here comes Sean. We can confirm Ramon Julian goes into second place in this final, just one hold shy of Adam Ondra's record in this one. And here comes the second jump for Sean McColl.
Looking really good. He almost couldn't control the momentum, as you saw. And there Sean just basically proves his physical strength.
He was almost too strong for his own good there. He almost swung himself all the way around.
Yeah, he's looking really solid up to this point, and he didn't seem to waste any energy, and he has got still so much more to give, so much steam. He can easily clip even from that yellow ball, which looks big, but it's hard to grab because it just doesn't have any edges.
Yes, there's that. Sean tries to get over this roof section. He's completely horizontal to the deck here. He tries
and
to clip
if you
on.
watch the holds there, if they're zoomed in, you can see they're not positive at all. They're just super negative. So you're always having to grab them very actively. It's like nothing where you could just hang a little bit and crimp and relax a bit. Just everything in tension.
Yeah, your arms are always straining with the size of these holds. See the pressure exerted by the fingers of Sean McColl. His arms stretched right to the very maximum. As he heads towards the roof section, he's gone past where Gautier Supper and Minoru Nao dropped off. And he's now competing for those higher places in this final.
And he's still looking really solid there. I expected him to get like out of steam in some point of the wall because it has quite a few movements, but he still looks so strong. Wow, he's having such a great go, and he seems to be really much back in shape actually.
So here comes Sean McColl of Canada up to this tricky section, which has stumped Adam Ondra and Ramon Julian.
Wow, he's still looking strong. Sean's still looking really good. What an impressive performance. What is he going to do? He's going for the next one. And wow, he's still on the wall. He got no, unfortunately.
So close for Sean McColl of Canada.
I believe he might have even done this next movement.
But he seems pretty happy with his efforts, that's for sure. It was a brilliant climb from Sean McColl.
Yeah,
his previous best this year was a third, but he might just be looking to get inside of that with that climb. I think he certainly tied Ramon Julian Poblanque. He might be just shy of first position, we'll wait to see, but he looks pretty happy with that, and he should be.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Adam is right now in first position, as he did like one more move, or going for the plus in this one, and then him, so. But it was really good performance, and very nice climbing.
You said there that the course suited him, and it certainly seems so. It suited him down to the crowd, a very aggressive, strong climb from Sean McColl.
Yeah, well, Sean is a very power-based climber, what he has got from his bouldering abilities, but at the same time he's still very technical and precise. But just super powerful, and his power definitely used him a lot here. Unfortunately, this little foot slip. I really believe, maybe 2 movements more he could have done.
Yeah, all we needed was another movement. He's just behind Adam Ondra. He goes into second place, Sean McColl. Very, very close. You see our 2 Slovenian athletes there. That's in the zone, isn't it?
Yeah, that's quite much in the zone, pretty much in focus.
So here we go. Here's our Slovenian male competitor. This is Domen Skofic of Slovenia. And listen to the reception. It's so loud in here.
Yeah, absolutely. The crowd is so excited to see, of course, Domen climbing. And yeah, I really hope he's going to do a great performance here. I know the year didn't start quite good for him as he expected, and he already has been really fit at the beginning of the year, but yeah,
certainly picked it up in the later stages. There were first and a second in his last 2 climbs in person with Jain.
Yeah, exactly. Before it was like he had quite a few hard times. Just like me at the end of the year, now it was for him at the beginning of the year. And he was also so strong, and yeah, I believe now he's just very well still in shape and mainly in the mental comfort zone, and I believe he is able to do everything here, and I'm curious to see what's going to happen now in the final climb.
Just 21 years old is Domen Skofic, and as he takes the jump up to that black volume, will it help him competing on home turf here in Slovenia, the crowd right behind him, or has he got to try and blank as much of that out?
Sorry, I didn't understand you acoustically. So loud in here, the people are so excited.
Well, that kind of is my point. Will it help him, the crowd being right behind him, or has he got to try and blank as much of it out?
Well, I think it kind of helps because it gets you excited for sure, but also it can get you a little bit nervous. So I hope mainly right now you can hear the crowd is clapping, and something like this can even bring you a little bit out of focus, but he seems very well in mind and physical control.
You saw that in the bottom left of your picture as we spoke about focus. Kim Zhang of South Korea going in the women's final. Just relaxing there before her competition. She looks like she was very much at ease. But so too does Domen Skofic, who looks pretty comfortable at this stage so far.
And he found even a little resting position. And that's one of his great abilities, always finding some good positions where to take a little bit energy off the body, or to just recover a little bit, or in sketchy situations when other guys would fall or give up themselves, he still is able to figure out some beta to do it. He's a very intelligent climber.
He certainly is, as he takes on the first roof section of this climb. As he gets his left arm around the side of that black pinch. It's a tough section of this climb to get over this crest, but he looks in a good position to do so as he clips on.
And still he seems to have a lot of steam. Doesn't look actually tired at all.
This climb is the ultimate test of power and endurance as well. As we've got plenty of power-based moves, but it will certainly put you to the test.
Looking so strong. He's just so easily able to hang on this tiny crimps. Well, Domen has got a really good endurance, but at the same time he has got an incredible finger strength as well.
Yeah, you can see there the fingers working so hard that allowing him to rest.
And this is a point nobody rested there, but Domen is able to rest there at least a little bit. And
well, he's attacking straight to the left.
Now.
He's going his own way. We've seen every other climber move to the right. Is he going to go there eventually? He might be changing his mind. He is going to swing over to the right-hand side. Just thought for a minute we're going to see what Jan Hoyer did and go to the left and jump all the way.
Oh yeah, but you had to go there to the left. This one was necessary.
But here he comes around the black volume.
Slowly approaching the exciting part of the route. Now soon having to switch the feet, but he doesn't seem to like the pocket too much. But he got there, and
you can see
he
there
managed
just
to do
two
the
fingers
clip.
in the hold.
And he's approaching the exciting section. Wow, what is he doing with his feet? But still looking good. Whoa. Oh
he
no.
loses it.
I think he was going there for a wrong beta. It's really unfortunate. He had to turn a little bit more in order to use the foothold there, which you could see on the wall. But he was trying to do it with the heel hook, which was not quite possible. Unfortunately, he fell there. I believe he could have done also quite a bit more.
Well, you see there the huge hometown support for Domen Skofic, the Slovenian athlete. Really, really good effort from Domen. He couldn't quite get all the way to the top as he would have liked. Just a slight mistake has put him behind the likes of Ondra and McColl and Ramon Julian and Domen Skofic enters into fourth in the men's final. So as it stands in the men's final, Ondra leads the way. McColl is in second, Ramon Julian is in third, Domen Skofic in fourth, Roman Dejoux in fifth, Minoru Nao in sixth, and Gautier Supper in seventh. We still have Jakob Schubert to come, the Austrian climber, who's been so consistent this year.
Yeah.
Very much looking forward to seeing Jakob climb in just a little bit. You can see here the final crux point of...
Unfortunately here with the heel hook, it was just impossible to do. He would have had just to turn a little bit more and then he would for sure do the movement. But well, that's climbing. It's sometimes not quite easy to decide fast for the right beta.
So here comes Jakob Schubert of Austria. What can he produce in the final climb of the men's final? You can see there his view right up that wall. It's almost impossible to get a camera shot that shows all of the wall. It goes backwards that far.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting to see right now. I believe he can do really good in this route if he gets well inside. Sometimes I know if a route starts a little bit uncomfortable and awkward, he has troubles to get into the climb. But if he gets well into his climb, I know he is able to do everything in this route as well. So still everything is open for the win. I'm curious what's going to happen at the end.
So Ondra currently sits in first position, just in front of McColl in third. Jakob Schubert, as you mentioned, has been so consistent this year on the World Cup circuit as he takes his first jump very well. He finished sixth, third, second, fourth, second and fifth. He was fifth here last year in Kranj, but won the event here in Kranj the 2 years before that in 2013 and 2012. Does that help when you're competing on a wall that you know you've done well on?
Absolutely, that really helps. For me, personally, I also really like the wall in Kranj here, and for me it's a boost of confidence when I know I'm climbing on a wall which suits my style pretty well, and I know the holes are going to be cool, and I know the route setters are some of the ones who I like, then that definitely helps.
Yeah. Well, Jakob Schubert there just getting his fingers into those tiny little holes.
Yeah, as you can see, these holes are really small. Just barely enough to hold on.
But up he comes, heading towards the second jump at the start of this men's course. He'll latch on to that black volume right at the top of your picture, above the one with CAC on it. Here we go, it's a big moment in this climb for Jakob Schubert.
So now the jump, and he sticks it really well as well.
Never looked like falling, did he? Jakob Schubert latches on and heads towards the first roof section here in Kranj.
And even finding a little resting position here. But I think it's not quite comfortable because the heel hook doesn't really have a good grip there.
On his left arm as he looks to move ahead in this men's final. He topped out in his 2 qualifying rounds, scored 43,500 in the semi-final, meant he led the way in the men's event.
Now moving on.
He's making this look slightly more difficult than the other athletes made it.
Yeah, I believe it's not exactly his style, there with the volumes and this kind of heel hook. I think this was not a really good resting position. It maybe even brought him a little bit out of his flow, but luckily he now found a different resting position where he might be able to recover. And yeah, now I'm curious what's going to carry on. We know that Jakob sometimes at the beginning of a route doesn't look the greatest, but still is able to fight all his way through.
But here he comes, Jakob Schubert, starting to move through this first roof section on the wall here in Kranj. There's Domen Skofic, who looks pretty happy with his climb. On the bottom left of your picture. There's Jakob Schubert getting his arms around that black volume. So the atmosphere here in Kranj starting to pick up.
Yeah, the atmosphere is being pretty good right now. And Jakob going for another resting position there. I remember at the beginning of the year he had a little bit of troubles coming out of the bouldering season and getting into the lead season. It's a really hard split doing both. And he didn't have quite as much endurance as he usually does, but I believe that his shape is pretty much back now. So I'm curious to see him now in the rest of the route, but he still looks pretty good and
it should certainly be
still
interesting
has
as he
plenty of steam.
starts to move through those horseshoe-shaped holds and on towards the second roof section here. Going pretty well here, Jakob Schubert. He's taking his time about things. But he's the first climber we've really seen start to really wind down the clock. He's got to be a little bit careful, hasn't he?
Oh well, yeah, for sure, but he has been taking a little bit more time than the other athletes, but he still has plenty of time to climb, so that's probably not going to affect him here, I believe, because now there won't be any other resting points anymore, I guess.
He'd do well to hold on for 3 more minutes here. As you just see one of the French climbers there,
still
resting
looking
up
good.
ahead of the resting up ahead of her climb.
So now he's slowly approaching the exciting part. What's going to happen? Is he going to get this victory here?
So Jakob Schubert chasing
Still
the win
looking strong.
in this World Cup event.
Right,
in
finding
Kranj.
the good beta to do it. Even getting in the clip. Jakob still looks good. He still has steam. He still can give more. Wow, unbelievable. Is he going to take the lead? He still looks strong. Oh no.
Couldn't quite get it. Jakob Schubert, he drops out.
I believe he just didn't really know what to do with his feet there. He still had more to give. He still had steam, but he just didn't get the right position to keep on moving.
Yeah, his right foot was almost the wrong position, wasn't it, to kind of give him
Yeah,
that
well,
momentum.
he was hanging in a similar way as Adam Ondra, but Adam, he still had his feet a little bit higher and somehow managed to do it then. But I believe McColl did it the best way, actually, on that point.
So Adam Ondra takes the win in the men's final. McColl is second, and Jakob Schubert there into third position, just ahead of Ramon Julian on a countback. As we watch the highlights here of Jakob Schubert's climb, it was slow, it was methodical, but the explosive moments were a joy to behold from the Austrian climber. You can see there the sheer effort it took to keep himself moving up the wall.
That was a really interesting and exciting men's final, I would say.
It certainly was. And here we go.
Yeah,
this is
here
about
we
where he
can
lost
see
it.
once more. Just, he was close to do it, but just couldn't quite reach it.
He just wishes his arms were longer, didn't he, at that point? And there
Oh,
you
yeah.
see Adam Ondra and Jakob Schubert embracing after the final. Adam Ondra taking the win. McColl taking second place, which is the best result of his season so far. He seems to be going from strength to strength. There's McColl.
Yeah, that was a strong climb from him. Absolutely impressive. I really believe he could have won there. He still looked pretty good.
And there you go, there's the confirmed results on the screen for you. Adam Ondra wins it, McColl in second, Jakob Schubert in third, Ramon Julian takes fourth, Domen Skofic from Slovenia in fifth, Roman Dejoux in sixth, Minoru Nao in seventh, and a real upset at the start from Gautier Supper, who only takes eighth.
Wow.
We'll wait to see how that impacts the overall lead season later on. see there at the bottom of your picture the trophies that are prepared to be given out here in Kranj. But we're almost ready for our female final. A reminder of the start list: Christine Schranz of Austria, Helene Janicot of France, Matilda Becerra, also of France, Jessie Pilz of Austria, Mina Markovic of Slovenia, Anak Verhoeven of Belgium, Jain Kim of Korea, and also Slovenia, Janja Garnbret, the Golden Girl, will be last up in the women's final.
So we are looking forward for another probably really exciting final round.
We certainly are. As we watch the highlights of Anna Ondra's climb, he took the win. He almost got even further as well.
Yeah, I believe he was like already pretty much out of steam, and I think Sean actually on this point he could have even climbed a bit further. He was still looking so fresh, or pretty fresh. Already tired, but still having quite a bit of steam and quite a bit to give.
Yeah, he certainly did.
It would have been exciting to see what happened if his foot didn't slip there. He might have even been able to top out this route, I think.
He was certainly close. Anna Ondra it is who takes the win, and we look forward to our women's final. What can we expect from this women's final? It's a different route, of course. The yellow holds will now be utilised in the women's final. As you look out onto the route here, Seb, what strikes you as looking particularly challenging?
I believe the first 2 quick draws, or first 2 to 3 quick draws, are actually rather easy or more comfortable to climb. The slopers are pretty round, but the girls are going to be able to grab them well, I think. So it doesn't start just as tough as the men's final, but after the first half,
the end certainly looks difficult.
Looks really, really hard. We cannot see it right now on the TV screen, but if you see it later, it looks impressively hard. So I'm curious to see the girls up to there and on that point.
We certainly are looking forward to it, especially looking forward to seeing Janja Garnbret of Slovenia.
On
just 16 years of age.
Country.
Just 16 years of age, competing in her home country for the first time, topping out in every single climb this weekend. She's been absolutely incredible. You see her there on the left of your picture with a more experienced teammate, Mina Markovic, the #1 in the world. There's Kim Zhang of Korea, who's been so impressive this weekend already.
It has been absolutely impressive, really impressive to watch. And wow, I'm curious. I believe, she has already confirmed that she has really the potential to win, and I hope that she keeps her youthful
So here comes the
confidence.
women's route, as you see on your screen here, the graphic. This one will really push them to the test. As Seb mentioned, the entry point is relatively easy, but talk us through this final bit here, Seb, as they head towards the route section.
Yeah, here it's still rather endurance-based, and from that point on until the top, the last third of the route looks really, really hard, and with a lot of bouldery movements and volumes. And I believe there are quite a few movements where you just cannot hesitate. You just have to go for them and move forward. So about that part, I'm really excited to see.
Yeah, fortune favours the brave in this route. Those who are prepared to jump and take their chance may well just find themselves on the podium in this women's final. Just a reminder, you can get in touch with us on Twitter. The hashtag is IFSCWC for the World Cup. Hashtag. Shout out to Commander, who says, woohoo, that's second for McColl Sean in Kranj, and second overall combined for 2015. Congrats to Ondra for first in both. Cheers for that. Getting in touch, Commander. As we await our first athlete, here comes Christine Schranz of Austria.
Yeah.
Her first final of the year.
Yeah. Well, actually not the first one. In IMST she reached the finals as well.
She certainly did. I knew I couldn't catch you out, Seb. I knew I couldn't catch you out. She came 7th in IMST in her home events, but other than that, she has failed to reach the finals in the other one, so it'll be interesting to see how she goes.
I believe she has trained quite a bit more this year. She is already working, so it's a little bit hard of the timing. But she has become quite fit this year again, actually. And I saw her just recently, 1 week ago, in Tivoli training, and she looked pretty strong. She looked really, really solid. So I'm curious how she's going to do in this route. I believe she has the potential to climb pretty far, and Yeah, she also has a nice and fluent climbing style, so it's going to be nice to watch her.
You see there the movement required to latch onto that yellow volume, but they're completely circular. It's very difficult to grip onto at that stage, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. These slopey holds can be sometimes really uncomfortable to hold. And most of all, either if there's not any chalk on them or if there's already a lot of chalk on them, like in semi-final round or qualification rounds, slopers can be so ungrateful. But that's the good thing about final routes. You just have 8 climbers who climb over those, so everybody has still relatively the same conditions, more or less.
Here comes Christine heading towards the halfway stage in this climb. She's going pretty strongly so far. She's tackled.
Yeah, she's looking pretty good, and this is like the first movement where it's a little bit more dynamic, but still I think the girls are going to be doing it relatively easy, just as she did. Mainly, maybe for Jain Kim with her size, it might be a little bit more in a nervousing movement, but yeah, for the taller females, it's not any problem at all.
So Christine just maneuvering herself around that blue volume.
Oh, and I believe she's going kind of the wrong way. She's now hanging with the wrong hand on the wrong hold. So she probably does have to go back and get there with the left hand.
You see the hand, she's now figured it out. That's the hold she wants for her right. She's looking to switch back again.
I believe she doesn't really want to do the movement because the right hold seems to be pretty bad, pretty slopey. And it's like a kind of uncontrolled movement, I think. So I think she doesn't really want to commit the movement at this point. And she did it.
And she just clings on. Does really, really well there.
I think this is like a kind of, bouldery section already. I didn't expect it to be that tricky, that hard, but for her it seems pretty uncontrolled. Wow.
Did really well to hold on, and she's looking
now
to
having
move
to
on.
extend. And yeah. Wow.
Going really well after a slight slip. Here's Christine Schranz. Now
And I
starts to move on
think
to the
she
roof
wants
section.
to find somehow a resting position, but it's not really possible to find there.
Oh, she just drops down. She just loses her grip with her
Yeah,
right hand.
unfortunately, I believe she was wasting a little bit too much time there, hanging too long just on one arm. So even if the hold was not too bad, but she was hanging there for about, I think, like at least 20 seconds all the time on this one arm. So it's tiring.
It certainly will favour the quicker climbers, this route.
Yeah, I think on that point she definitely would have had to commit a little bit more to single movements and just go for it. So in this way she wouldn't have wasted that much energy.
See there the amount of effort it took. It was brilliant manoeuvring from Christine Schranz to get herself to that stage, but she just couldn't quite hold on, the Austrian climber. We're certainly looking forward to seeing the rest of the finalists go in this women's final. It's been a brilliant women's event so far this weekend. We've seen plenty of tops, but only one in the semi-final. That went to our 16-year-old competitor.
And that was so impressive.
Janja Garnbret.
And I believe
a packed crowd in Kranj, plenty.
Yeah, there are quite a few people watching this competition. While obviously there are so many strong female Slovenian climbers, and not forgetting about Domen, of course.
So here comes Helene Janicot of France, the number 5 in the world, 21 years old, and she's looked fairly shaky this weekend. She's not looked her usual strong self. Only just qualified into the semi-final from the final.
I think she had a pretty hard year in some way because she didn't get into the comp season as well as she wanted to. And yeah, I know in the years before she hasn't been in Kranj in final, and I know she was a little bit afraid of not being in finals here again. But she did it. She managed to do it, and that's great. And I believe now she doesn't have like a big pressure on herself because she can do everything, but she is already in finals and can enjoy her climb now. But for sure in a route with a lot of variety and different tricky sections, she can do a really good job. So I'm curious to see how she's going to do in this route.
Yeah, Seb mentioned there, Helene was 10th last year in Kranj, didn't quite make the final, and she only just scraped through to this one, but she is a very, very talented climber. Plenty of 4th places and 5th places this year in the World Cup. She will be there or thereabouts, you'd imagine.
And she's one of the climbers who always find a very interesting beta. Like on sections where other people are just going through with a lot of power and sometimes wasting a lot of energy, she's finding really interesting foothold positions, a little bit similar as Domen at the male field. So I think that makes her climbing special.
So here she comes onto this blue volume, which has proved pretty tricky so far.
Oh no, she has missed the clip, which is, I think, now pretty hard to get in. I hope she's going to manage still doing the clip later on. Probably from here. Yeah, she could. That's good.
It's a necessity that they get all the clips in, these climbers.
Yeah, that was a little bit the scary point here.
But this is the part where Christine Schranz particularly struggled to get herself around this blue volume. Will Helene Janicot have a similar struggle? Will she move beyond?
Was what I was just talking about. Christine Schranz was doing this movement dynamically, and Helene, she found there a really good heel hook. Another interesting beta to do it with the drop knee. Now going for the dynamic movement. Still looking good.
Yeah, she's now horizontal from the wall.
And I hope she won't waste her too much time. And does she do the cross movement? Oh, she's going for a match. Probably in order to recover her left arm a little bit.
So she's found somewhere to rest. There aren't many places on this female route where you can do that. She moves up to the next hold.
Nice, she got the next movement done. No, unfortunately a slip there.
She couldn't quite cling on, Helene Janicot. She looks pretty disappointed. It was a fine effort, and it just goes to show
It was a nice effort, but I believe she didn't have to fall there. But probably, I think on this section, even the hold on the roof looks big, but it's not good to wait there a long time. You have to climb fast over it, otherwise it just gets you out of steam.
You can see there, that's not Helene dancing to the tunes here in Kranj. She goes through every single movement before she starts her climb. And it was pretty solid up until the point where she fell, when she just started to struggle a touch. And this is the point, isn't it, where she just couldn't quite get in the right position to move up and cling on to the next section.
Yeah, and just the the foot coming off, and then she just couldn't hold the momentum.
It's another case again, as we saw earlier, of gravity also working against her as well.
Oh yeah, that's a basic gravity work.
So as you can see, Kim Zhang warming up on the wall.
Doing her last warm-ups. Hanging around a bit, literally.
She always looks so cool, doesn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing ever flusters Kim Zhang.
Absolutely into her own sphere.
That's the golden girl, Janja Garnbret of Slovenia, just relaxing before the final.
Yeah.
Who have we got next? It's Matilda Becerra of France.
Yeah, she has become quite strong this year, making several times finals. Which is really nice to see, because she used to be already a few times in finals, but then a few years not that strong anymore. And now she's again pretty well up on stage. Girlfriend from McColl.
Well, will she follow in Sean's footsteps? He had a wonderful climb earlier on in the men's final. Can Matilda match that?
So let's hope she's going to be able to do a similar thing here today.
See her grabbing her hands around that long pinch on the side of the wall here in Kranj. The 20th anniversary of climbing competition in this great climbing venue of Kranj in Slovenia. I know it's one of your favourite places to climb, isn't it, Seb?
Yeah, absolutely. Kranj is definitely my favorite competition wall, and yeah, it's just watching this final route of the men today earlier on. It's such a pity I couldn't climb on this route. I would have been so excited to try all these movements and to climb on them. It was just looking so amazing, this route.
Well, hopefully if no one's looking later on, you can maybe strap yourself onto the wall and give it a go.
Oh, I think today probably not anymore. We have been with the whole German team climbing in Ospen Misha Patch, which is around 1 hour 15 close, far from here. It's a nice climbing area and has got quite a few hard routes. So yeah, I'm already pretty tired.
Even when you're not climbing, you're still always climbing. It's
Oh,
brilliant
well.
to see. It's a love, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, today I did quite a few routes there in this climbing area. So yeah, my fingers. I've got one cut on my finger, another one which is about to open. So I think for today I'm pretty fine with climbing. I'm done.
This is why we got you in the commentary box. Didn't want to see you out there. But Matilda going pretty well. She's coming up to that blue volume, which has proved tricky so far on this women's route.
Also, she's having troubles to get in the clip. What is she going to do? Let's hope she's going to find the solution as Helene did.
See there,
But
her
I'm
legs
not
stretched
quite
so
sure.
far.
I'm not quite sure. Just one move. She would just have to do one more movement in order to get a way easier clipping position. And she gets in the clip, luckily. Oh, wow.
Nearly slipped
Still
there,
on the wall.
but she's still going, is Matilda Becerra.
Well, that was taking for sure quite a bit of energy, but well, she's still on the wall. She still can give her best.
And that's the most important thing. As long as you stay on the wall, you've always got a chance.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you're on the wall, it's not over yet. And sometimes that's quite hard a thing to learn, because mainly if you're not that experienced yet, you sometimes give up too fast.
But Matilda certainly isn't giving up. She's moving up above that blue volume.
The
looking to
extending movement.
advance beyond the...
And she grabbed it, wow, but already getting pretty tired, I think. And I hope she's moving on fast. But also she's wasting quite a bit of time there. And going for the cross. And well, I believe it was a good effort at the end. But I believe after what happened regarding the clip, she was just tired and out of steam. So still a good effort for that.
You called it, Seb. She really was struggling after getting beyond that blue volume. It's a really tough climb, that, Matilda Becerra. But it'd be really interesting to see how our final 5 athletes take on this wall, because we've got some real pedigree coming into this final 5. Jessie Pilz has has only failed to reach the podium once this year. She's been so consistent.
Absolutely consistent, I just wanted to say. And also, she's still such a young athlete with
Just
so much
18.
yeah, exactly. Having so much more potential. So, yeah, I'm curious about her future, what's still going to happen. But she's for sure one of the big future hopes, mainly for Austria.
We're certainly excited to see Jessie Pilz. She'll be next out in this women's final. And shout out to Tristan Duper on Twitter, who says, "Go Janicot." She did pretty well earlier on in this women's final. Remember, you can get in touch with us on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC, if you're watching from around the world. This is Jessica Pilz of Austria. And as we mentioned, The 18-year-old has only failed to reach the podium once. That was in Pilz. She still came fourth.
Yeah, and it was still a very, very strong effort.
But she's not won an event this year. Will that be playing on her mind at all? She's got a lot of seconds, a lot of thirds. She hasn't quite secured that first position.
Well, probably. It for sure does affect somehow, but I believe you just try not to think about this and go for your climb and focus on the specific moment right when you're on the wall and not anything else. So, but yeah, for sure it might affect her.
She's such a steady climber is Jessica Pilz. She never seems to have a moment of wasted energy. Every move seems planned and meticulous.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she's also she's not a really dynamic climber, but a very power-based climber. She's having a really good core power, and she's able to block and pull really far, which is coming quite much from Tivoli school, I would say. I have been climbing quite a lot of times in this climbing gym in Austria, which is in Tyrol, and there you basically get used to this kind of powerful climbing.
She's been taking their tips off you? Teaching her everything you know. And she's going pretty strongly here, Jessica Pilz. Doesn't look to be in any real danger yet, but as we've seen so far on this women's route, that blue volume has certainly proved the most difficult aspect of the climb so far. Both Christine Schranz of Austria and the two French climbers, Matilda Becerra and Helene Janicot, both really struggling to get beyond that. You can see there the amount of extension that Jessica Pilz is using to get herself up this wall. Looks so strong.
Yeah, still looking absolutely strong. Seems to be really relaxed there. Also getting in the clip in a good way, which is nice because she didn't waste any energy in this point.
So there's that blue volume, which has given all three of our previous athletes in this final some real trouble. Oh, Jessica Pilz.
So now let's see, is she going for the heel hook? Yeah, she finds the heel hook, so for her this movement's going to be easy. Eventually she's going to take a little rest there as well. And then it starts being quite exciting. Oh yeah, she's right going for it without resting.
Well, here we go then, as Jessica Pilz looks to move around that blue volume and head into what will be first position so far in this final. Helene Janicot currently leads.
Making the extension move look really easy. So now it starts being pretty exciting. But she still looks absolutely fresh. I believe she's not going to have troubles with the next movement.
So we're into uncharted territory in this women's final. This is further than anyone's gone before on this route.
Absolutely solid. Yeah, and she goes there. That was looking very solid. And I think she's still not pumped at all. She can still climb quite a few movements more.
So yeah, she's just taking a little bit of a rest and making sure she can scout out the rest of the route here. She's going to shake out that right arm, I think. Give herself a bit of a breather.
Yeah, now she has found a little resting position, being able to match this mini jug.
So on to the next move she goes, around this green volume.
Yeah, and I believe from now on the route gets with every single movement harder and harder and harder. So now it actually starts being really exciting.
So it's just grabbed onto a yellow pinch that's round the back of that green volume.
And this is just like a really, really, really flat hold, I believe. At least it looks like.
Wow.
Blocking upwards. And that's what you learn pretty well in Tivoli, blocking upwards very high.
That is magnificent stuff from Jessica Pilz. She leads the way in this women's final, where she'll be looking to get as far at this wall as she can to set the challenge for Markovic, Verhoeven, Kim and Garnbret.
And now the next hold is actually something really, really round and uncomfortable, because it's not a hold actually, it's just a volume, a triangle. So, but she came over this really good. And now we have reached the last third of the route, which gets with every movement so intense. This looks like real bouldering on the rope.
You can see there the start, and that's going to provide some real entertainment throughout this
And
final.
now
So
she's
little
going
to
to
grip onto.
really have to commit, and she sticks it. Wow, very nice climbing.
Amazing stuff from Jessica Pilz. Can she get her legs up to meet her left hand? That's the question. She gets her right leg up pretty well.
Absolutely strong, and she still sticks the next hold. Now really fighting for every single movement, and
She couldn't quite continue that momentum, but that was a fantastic climb.
yeah, that
from
was
Jessica Pilz.
absolutely a fantastic climb, and I'm really curious to see how the next athletes are going to move on that point, because I believe already the movements before, which look quite easy for her, are going to cause some of the other athletes some troubles.
Yeah, she really did make that really difficult section look so simple, didn't
Yeah,
she?
absolutely.
See here some of the highlights of Jessica's climb. That's just where she lost it, just overstretched a touch and couldn't quite latch onto that next hold. This is it, with her right hand, just couldn't quite latch on, but you see how tiny that hold
Yeah,
is.
those holds are all so tiny, and if you just don't grab them absolutely in the right position, you're off the wall. You have no chance to keep on.
As you just saw on your screens there, Jessica Pilz takes a big lead in this final. She leads Helene Janicot, Matilda Becerra and Christine Schranz by quite a distance.
Oh yeah, by pretty much a distance.
But it's up to the rest of the field now to play catch-up. And say hello to Mina Markovic, the world #1, the 27-year-old from Slovenia.
It's getting quite loud here again.
She is a big favourite in this part of the world.
Well, absolutely. And she has already won here in this competition wall quite a few times.
She certainly has. She was first last year, third the year before that, and first the year before that. She likes competing here in Kranj, does Mina Markovic. She was second in the World Cup general standings last year. She'll be hoping to get a first this year. She currently leads in the overall standings ahead of Kim Jain.
Yeah,
A win here would cement that.
yeah, absolutely. And I think she doesn't even have to win to win the overall. I think even if she reaches like a good place in this final round, she's still going to win it.
So no mistakes are the order of the day for Mina Markovic. She topped out in both her qualifying climbs, a score of 35 in the semi-final, fourth best in the women's fields.
And as you can see, she's moving pretty fast and confident inside this route. Tries not to waste any time and energy.
She really is a star.
And she's
in this
looking
part of the
good.
world. Is Mina Markovic. You can see that every single muscle in her arm working so hard.
Yeah, well,
So strong.
she's absolutely defined. Like her whole body, you can see every single muscle, as you just said.
Not a wasted part on the anatomy of Mina Markovic. She is one of the ultimate athletes.
Yeah, well, and you can see it on her climbing and on her wrestles as well. She has been just such a strong climber for so many years already now.
So she's heading up towards that blue volume, which has proved tricky for all of our climbers. Only Jessica Pilz, the competitor before, making it look particularly easy. But it's all relative, of course. This is a difficult bit to get over. But Mina Markovic doing well. As she finds another clip.
And also she's still looking very solid up to this point. Didn't do any mistakes so far, got in the clip. Now doing a little resting position. And I believe also the next section, it might be a little bit uncomfortable for her with the extending movement, but she's going to go through this, I think, pretty fast.
Well, that'll be the hope. She'll have seen this route beforehand and she'll have thought how she's going to tackle it. And she'll look to get through this as quickly as possible to save as much energy for the final section.
Very nice.
You can hear
Yeah, I think this movement was a little bit uncomfortable for her, but she did it very solid, and now she's going to carry on this.
You can see there Mina in the roof section of this. She's completely horizontal on the wall. But she's looking fairly strong at this stage as she moves out of the roof section and onto that green volume.
And still absolutely solid. And she's there on the resting position now, so that's going to be good for her.
Yeah, she's looking good, is Mina Markovic of Slovenia. Just using that stage to take a little bit of a rest, just as Jessica Pilz did before her. So what can Mina Markovic do from here? Just taking a little bit of a breather on one of the few holds on this route where you really can do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now she's starting to really get into the route, and now it will be interesting. I was absolutely sure she was going to get there pretty smoothly, as she did. So now it will be quite an exciting thing to watch.
You can hear the atmosphere in Kranj really picking up.
Oh
she
yeah, the
so
crowd is
popular
getting
in these
so
parts.
excited.
So what can she do from here? Mina Markovic looking strong.
Looking very strong for sure, going for the clip. And now the next, I think the next hold she might find it a little bit uncomfortable.
No grip on that purple triangle. It's a very tough hold, this.
Very well done. Didn't waste much time there, which is good. And now it starts being so hard. With every more movement, it starts getting really harder. One more move, still very strong. Still has more to give.
She's just heading up to that star, and this is the point where Jessica
And now
Pilz
she
just drops
really has
off.
to go for it. Yeah, nice one.
Brilliant
Still
work.
strong, still having steam.
Brilliant
Can
work
she
from
come
Mina
out this route?
Markovic as she looks to get above that star and onto the holds where Jessica Pilz couldn't quite match
Really
on.
strong, absolutely strong.
And listen to the
And
roar
does she
here
do
in
the next
Kranj.
move? Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I think she just missed the hold a little bit.
Yeah, a wry smile from Mina Markovic there, but look at the reaction of this crowd in Kranj. They really, really love her. And she had a brilliant climb there. Hit the Slovenian start. She couldn't quite grasp her left arm onto that hold. But she'll be reasonably happy, I think, with how that climb went. It's certainly level with Jessica Pilz.
That's such a pity, because I'm sure she just didn't grab it right at the... Yeah, as you can see, she moved slightly too much upwards, so she just didn't quite get it at the point where she had to. I believe maybe she could have even topped the route. She was still looking good.
Well, Mina Markovic currently moves into first position based on her count back. She got the same score in this final as Jessica Pilz, but by virtue of topping out in both qualifying climbs, Mina Markovic leads the way. So here we go. It's our next finalist. It's Anak Verhoeven of Belgium, the 19-year-old.
Yeah, another young and super strong athlete here in this stage.
She has been so consistent this year. Only one time in the World Cup has she not been on the podium. She finished 8th earlier on in this competition. But third and second were her other scores, so she's always there or thereabouts.
Yeah, that's absolutely impressive. And also already the years before, she has been very, very consistent. So.
Yeah, she was 7th last year in Kranj. She'll be hoping to better that this time around.
Yeah, I'm sure this year she's going to do for sure better, I believe.
But she has maybe a little bit more work to do than she'd like. She didn't top out both qualifying climbs. That might affect her on a count back if she goes as far as the other two climbers, Mina Markovic and Jessie Pilz. And Anak Verhoeven is another one who never seems to look in trouble.
Yeah, that's true. She always is very much in control. Every movement for her looks relatively easy. She's doing, all the movements with a lot of power. Sometimes I believe if she climbs too slow, she's wasting a little bit of energy. But basically, if she wants to, she's able to move so fast and powerful. So that's a good thing. She's a very complete climber, actually.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to describe her. She's got a little bit of everything. Anak Verhoeven, as she clips on. Just starts to move away up towards that blue volume on this women's route. She grabs the side of the wall to help her move herself upwards. Only 2 more athletes to come in this final, Kim Zhang and Janja Garnbret.
So now I hope she's going to do the clip and not doing it too late. Oh, she has already passed the clipping position, so let's see if she gets it well from here. Ooh. Having another athlete having problems with this clipping position. I hope she's going to try clipping from upwards.
Just having a little bit of trouble with that clip is Anak Verhoeven.
Yeah, but that's good. She clips it from upwards, so she didn't waste too much energy there. Luckily.
Unlike London buses, when one clip comes along, so does another one.
Yeah, and such uncomfortable clipping position can really affect your performance so much. You can lose so much of energy on these points. Or at least if you don't waste too much energy, you can also get quite much out of your climbing flow. But I believe she's well inside of it again.
Yeah, here she comes up above that blue volume. This is the section which trips up Christine Schranz, Helene Janicot and Matilda Becerra.
And here you could see her really physical ability, because for her this extending move didn't seem hard at all. She just looked so relaxed on that one. Now even matching this hold in order to clip.
See here, just dipping into the chalk pocket for some extra grip.
So now going for the more athletical section, grabbing the next one, and one more move, and she's in the resting position.
Yeah, she's actually looking pretty comfortable at this stage as Anak Verhoeven made that. It looked very easy.
Yeah, I believe she didn't waste a lot of energy there at all. And as you could just see, the hold which comes afterwards is so round and slopey. The next one there around the big volume.
Yeah, you just see at the top of your picture, just in the last shot there, that circular yellow hold is very difficult to grab onto. Just on that orange volume, that's the next section after that yellow long pinch. And that's difficult, very difficult to latch onto. The final third of the women's route is very tough indeed. And see, support starts to build in the venue for Anak Verhoeven, very popular athlete.
And she's still got quite a bit of time. As you can see, she was watching the clock, because mainly as a female climber you always have to take that into account, because in female routes they're a little bit more resting position usually than in male routes. So, but she still has plenty of time to go.
3 minutes and 16 seconds and counting left of Anak Verhoeven's climb here.
And I believe,
Kranj.
yeah, now she's going to carry on her climb, and what happens now?
There she goes. And this is the triangular hold,
Yeah.
which really has no grip.
Yeah, just doesn't have any hold on top of it.
Pure hand strength, this from Anak Verhoeven. You can see there's nothing to grip onto at all. It is just a solid mass.
But for her, this movement was looking so easy, so smoothly. And yeah, now I think she should really move forward, but she still looks so strong.
So can Anak Verhoeven move beyond Mina Markovic and Jessica Pilz?
I hope she won't waste it too long. She won't stay there too long and go for it. And oh
she
no!
does, but she loses her handling.
Oh, what an unfortunate fall. I think she just actually didn't get the movement, and she just didn't get the hold on the right place.
She looks so disappointed.
Oh yeah,
Anak Verhoeven.
great disappointment for her.
She knows she could have gone further, that's the thing.
Absolutely, she knows she could do so much more, and she has the potential to top such a route, but I guess that's also a little bit an experience thing and also like a mental thing. Yeah, she just didn't grab the hold high enough. I think she went for it a little bit too static, not moving forward enough.
Needed a little bit more dynamism. There's our final two athletes to come. Kim Jain of South Korea and then Janja Garnbret of Slovenia is still waiting. But here comes Kim Jain. hugely talented climber, the 27-year-old, ranked second in the world. But will she face challenges, particularly in relation to her size? She's not the tallest, Kim Zhang. She's a very, very effective climber, but this route does require a lot of extension.
Yeah, I believe for her some of the movements might be a little bit more difficult than for other climbers because she is so small of her body size. She's like the male version of female version of Ramon. But still she has got also like such great physical abilities. I don't know any other female climber with so much endurance. And also she has got a great maximal power, so she will be able to do the movements, I think, well, for sure. And up there on top we are going to see, I hope the foothold position, the footholds are going to suit her, but if yes, then I think she's going to do a great performance.
Yeah, she might be short in stature, Kim Zhang, but she really is so powerful. And as Seb mentioned, the endurance that she has is amazing. You won't see many other female climbers look so calm on her climb. She never ever looks remotely out of control. Every move seems completely planned and organised. She really is a huge talent. She's been excellent in this year in the World Cup. She's won the last two events in Wujiang and Pilz. She's on great form.
Yeah,
I think continue that.
Mainly right now she's really back up on a great shape, and as you just said, every movement seems for her so much in control, and she never seems anywhere shaky.
Remember, you can get in touch with us on Twitter, hashtag IFSC. WC is the hashtag we're looking for.
This
on
is
Twitter.
one of the movements which is a little bit harder for her, but as you could see, even she's such a small climber, she managed to do it pretty easy.
Yeah, she never looked like struggling. And you can see there just at the top of your picture, that clip which has proved so temperamental in this women's climb. A few climbers have really struggled in getting that one in.
But for her it was not any problem at all.
No. She starts to move ahead towards that blue volume, which has been tricky for all of our climbers so far in this women's final. If you missed the men's final, if you're just tuning in to the IFSC World Cup here in Kranj, and you missed a brilliant men's final, Adam Ondra taking the win in that one. Sean McColl was second.
Yeah, very exciting final, mainly.
But the women's one has certainly lived up to its billing, and it too has been very, very exciting. And there's the clip which a few climbers have had trouble with. Kim Zhang never looked like she was in trouble.
Yeah, just before the clip, the previous clip, it was the one, but she did it easily, and this is nice, and she's still, for her it looks like she just started her climb, like nothing had happened yet at all. Doing the extending movement, and this is actually quite long movement, which theoretically should be a bit more difficult for her, but as you could see, she made it look so easy, and that's her physical ability.
Here she goes, just stretching out that right arm in a bit of a rest position as she moves her way forward up this women's route into the roof section. She'll go horizontal here, looking to get herself round that green volume, and she does.
Doing every single movement, even still static here. If you remember, the other female climbers had to do this at least a bit dynamic, but for her, she just could do it statically without any problem.
So then she's going to just take a little bit of rest, and she moves her left hand onto that tiny little pinch. This difficult section coming up. But we saw quite a few climbers resting at this stage, but she seems to be attacking it pretty quickly.
Yeah, I believe she just didn't need any rest there. Like, she was still so fresh that it was not even necessary for her to rest here. And I hope now that with actually this next section she's not going to struggle, because the footholds are quite low. But yeah, she's still able to step on them, I guess, so it should be okay. Yeah, here the left foothold is very low for her size, I think.
You see her move her left foot back up the roots. There's Mina
And
Markovic watching on.
She reaches out and yeah, she gets there. And still looking so relaxed. Unbelievable. And there, all the other climbers had to move forward first, but she's still able to grab some chalk to shake a little bit. That's just impressive to see.
Really is so cool and calm, but this is the real acid test. She latches on. Great hand strength from Kim Zhang.
Wow, even her. Oh!
But she just loses
What
it.
an unexpected fall. I don't really know what happened there. But that was unexpected.
Yeah, she
I
looked to
think
be in
even
so much
for her-
control.
I think even she doesn't know what really happened. Nobody expected her to fall on that movement. I'm curious to see it actually on the replay what really happened.
Here we go.
Oh, she completely went on the wrong direction on this hold.
Here she goes, and just losing her grip.
Yeah, unfortunately we couldn't see it once again, but with her right hand she grabbed it completely on the wrong place. Wow, what an unexpected fall. That's not quite common to see from Jain Kim.
Yeah, she looked in so much control. But here comes the golden girl
Oh
of
yes,
Slovenian climbing. This is Janja Garnbret, and listen to this reception.
I know. Again, the crowd is getting crazy. The crowd is getting excited. Everybody wants to see her, Janja Garnbret, on her first World Cup in her hometown. What is she going to do? Is she going to take the gold here? I'm curious what happens, but I believe she has got such a great potential to win this competition. Personally, I really wish it to her that she does it.
So she wasn't messing about. She didn't really pause for any kind of thought. She's straight onto the wall to attack it. She's not wasting any time. And she is a hugely talented climber, just 16 years of age, Janja Garnbret.
Yeah.
Smartno in Slovenia. She's topped at every climb she's had in this competition. In Kranj, both qualifying, and the only athlete to top in the semi-final. That's not a bad record at all. She's only competed in 2 other World Cup events. She was second in Chamonix and second also in Imps in Austria.
Yeah,
And it's her first time competing in Kranj.
And in all of these World Cups, she even could have won. She was so close to a win, and yeah, I believe she has such a great chance to win this competition. Also, the route should suit her style pretty well. Quite a few dynamic movements. She's tall. She has the ability to move fast and efficient. She's got, yeah, everything literally what a climber needs.
And we mentioned it earlier, the atmosphere in here, would it affect such a young climber? But she appears so unfazed. It looks like nothing troubles her.
Yeah, she seems like so relaxed and confident, and this kind of, yeah, I think that's the power of the youth.
It's certainly her advantage in this one. And
But of course, also in this competition, she does have a little bit of pressure because everybody knows she's able to win. Everybody wants to see her win for sure. She knows she's able to win, but I believe she's going to handle this pressure very well because she's a very competitive person, as I saw her, and just
we saw her
unbelievable strong.
Yeah, we saw her earlier talking with her fellow countrywoman Mina Markovic. She couldn't have a better mentor really in her team than Mina.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, she's going even for a different method there. She's not even extending there. She's just taking the intermediate and cross it. Wow.
That's
I
the
think
Slovenian team coach watching
nobody
on.
of the other climbers could have done that actually.
Fantastic from Janja Garnbret of Slovenia. And listen to this crowd, it's so noisy here in Kranj for their...
Wow, the crowd is getting
favourite.
crazy.
But she's almost the complete opposite of Kim Zhang, isn't she? She's not really methodical, she's very dynamic, she's very aggressive.
Yeah, she's very dynamic and aggressive. she's having a very progressive climbing style, and I think the way she climbs, that's the climbing future. And yeah, she's the climbing future in the female circuit.
Just 16 years of age, remember. So young, but so much talent. You can see her, she doesn't wait around, she just attacks the course.
Yeah, she really attacks, as you said, and now she didn't take there a lot of time to rest, which I hope is not going to affect her in a bad way later on.
Whether it's the impatience of youth or sheer aggressive ability, who knows, but Janja Garnbret has been fantastic so far in this final. Can she continue that momentum? Just taking a little
look,
rest here.
she's taking a rest at the point where the others even had to climb fast over. But she's just resting there. It's so impressive to see.
The atmosphere in Kranj is incredible.
So now she's moving on. How is she going to feel in the next movements?
So this is the big test. This is where Mina,
now
Kim
it starts
and
getting
Anak have all
really
fallen.
exciting. Now it starts getting hard. And the next movement, and she does it. Yeah, she sticks it. Very nice done. And now it starts getting so exciting. Just a few movements away from the victory.
Surely she can't top again.
Whoa. Oh.
Just
But
losing her
she's
footing on that
struggling
one.
a little bit. What is she doing? And the same movement as Jain Kim. So that means Mina Markovic has won. Well, what a kind of surprise here. I expected her even to top this route.
Well, Janja Garnbret, it says a lot about her at 16 years of age. That she's disappointed not to have gone further in that route.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at her face, and I can understand well that she's disappointed, but well, she's the climbing future, and with a little bit more of experience, she's just going to crush every single World Cup, I believe.
It was an incredible climb right until this point, where she just seemed to lose her bearings a little
and
bit.
I think that for her, she had to keep her feet low. For her, it wouldn't have worked well to,
Wave for the crowd, which have supported her so well. And it really has been a home affair for this Slovenian climbing team, who are a brilliant climbing team, one of the best climbing nations, and they've had some great support in this one. But there you go, there's the confirmed results. Janja Garnbret still takes third, ahead of Kim Jain, Jessica Pilz in second, but Mina Markovic wins in her homes.
Oh yeah, and I think
Competition in
that's such a great win for her, because she also had some struggles sometimes this year. She was injured actually at the beginning of the year, and she was not sure how it was going to continue. But now she has won the overall season. She has won in her home country, and I think it's just the best way to finish up the season for her.
It certainly is. That's Mina Markovic's fourth win of the season. It's a really incredible season for the Slovenian climber. She wins with that score of 35.5. Jessica Pilz just behind her, but she's beaten by a countback, which will be...
that was just so close, actually. Everybody of the top 4 climbers were so extremely close, even the top 5. I mean, just 2 movements separating actually the 5th from the 1st place. So you can see this field is such a strong and tight field.
Yeah, and you did call it as well at the start when we looked at that route, that start would be the point where, it was won and lost, and it certainly was there.
It certainly was.
Brilliant competition. You can just see below the graphic there, the podium just being made ahead of the presentations. And we're looking forward to them. We'll bring you those on the stream for you. And don't forget, you can get in touch with us on Twitter, hashtag IFSCWC on Twitter. Shout out to Massa Maiden, who said Mrs. Spider-Woman on the go, Janja Garnbret to the top. If that's going to be her nickname, I think that's a pretty good one for a climber.
Yeah, actually, she really is like a Spider-Woman, because she can just hold on herself everywhere, and well, she's the climbing future for sure. Today she's disappointed, but she's going to make it just for the future. I'm really curious to see her in the next season and the upcoming years.
And a hello to Moshka on Twitter as well. She said Mina Markovic is the overall lead World Cup winner again. Congratulations. Thank you for getting in touch with us, Moshka. And you can do the same as well. Hashtag IFSCWC if you want to get in touch We have really enjoyed your interaction with us on social media. And,
Yeah, and the time has been running so fast here.
it really has.
These 2 hours have been just flowing away.
Time
by
flies
themselves.
when you're having fun, as they say.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And your thoughts, Seb, on what's been a really good climbing season here across all the World Cup events? It's been so exciting to watch, and obviously for you to be a part of.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the season has been a really long one for me, and as I haven't been used to this yet, as it's my first overall season, this was like kind of tiring, but it was really nice to finally compete at the overall World Cup, and I enjoyed it a lot. And yeah, I'm definitely so much looking forward to be doing this the next few years, like all the World Cups again and traveling around. I love competing at the World Cup circuit, and it's just the best thing to do for me.
Yeah, it certainly does take you all around the world, doesn't it? From the likes
Absolutely.
of China right the way back to Kranj, and then all around Europe. There's so many things to see
Yeah.
and do on this World Cup
So
circuit.
many things that you experience. Yeah, I think in a different lifestyle you don't get to experience so many things and get to see such a variety in life. It really broadens your mind.
It certainly has been a brilliant season. You can just see the presentations about to be made. And there's your 3 medal winners in the women's final. In third position. And you listen to the roar that's about to come up for third. It will be huge.
So third place reached Janja Garnbret,
Here we go.
Slovenia.
And listen to that ovation. It's huge.
Very nice smile on her face, and it's really nice. I know she's kind of disappointed, but at the same time she's still able to smile, and she does this very professional, still being so young and already being so professional. Yeah.
It must be such a buzz as a young athlete to compete in front of a home crowd and then get a medal as well. And
Yeah, absolutely.
she collects her medals and her flowers. We now wait for second place, and there'll be a great reception here as well for Jessica Pilz.
Did a very strong performance here today.
And another one who's so young, Jessie Pilz, only
Yeah.
18. It's incredible
Yeah,
that the
actually,
future of climbing is so
there-
promising.
Yeah, mainly in the female field, there are so many young, strong talents. It's impressive to see.
And listen to the ovation that our gold winner
Oh,
is about
yes.
to receive.
It's
In the first place, Monomesto, World Competition, lead Kranj, Mina Markovic, Slovenia.
A huge ovation for
Yeah.
Mina Markovic of Slovenia in her home country.
Yeah,
and here
the
in
crowd
Kranj.
is celebrating her, obviously. Also winning the whole World Cup season. What a great year for her.
It has been a stunning year for Mina Markovic. Still at 27, she's got a lot more to give. She's got a lot of competition coming from the younger athletes. You can see 2 of them right next to her. But she is still on top, the queen. And we now observe the Slovenian national anthem. So a huge ovation for Mina Markovic, who takes gold in Kranj. And joined alongside the 2 pretenders to her crown, Janja Garnbret, also of Slovenia, and
And
Jessie
that's the
Pilz of
nice
Austria.
thing about climbing. Even your big rivals, you can still be friends and all talking nicely with each other. It's such a nice social environment in climbing. This is another reason why I really love this competition sport, because this is something absolutely unique.
It certainly is. We're about to have our male medalists from this final. And if you missed it earlier on, it was a really, really exciting final. Adam Ondra was magnificent, but a surprise performance almost coming from Sean McColl as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean was definitely surprising in this competition, and he looked so strong. Wow, incredible.
And the other athlete on the podium, you can see them on the right of your picture, Jakob Schubert of Austria takes the bronze, and he looks very happy with that indeed. Such a consistent climber, Jakob Schubert.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's another third position for him. He's only been outside of the podium a few times this year.
Yes.
And here comes the silver medalist. And he looks delighted about it as well. Sean McColl. His second podium
Yeah,
of
he
the year.
has to be for sure so excited about that, because I know this year he actually hasn't really trained for lead climbing. So this is an impressive, yeah, quite an impressive result for that.
And he could have gone even further as well. He's
Yeah.
so close to taking the lead in this one, but he couldn't quite top the man who's about to join us on the podium. From the Czech Republic, Adam Ondra. And that's a celebration.
Yeah, Adam for sure absolutely happy, and yeah, even winning the overall title. Wow.
He looks absolutely delighted. He's such a character, Adam Ondra. He started the night by almost climbing the wrong route, but he's ended it on top of the world. The world ranking #1 climber, and he gets the gold here in Kranj. And we now have the national anthem of the Czech Republic. So Adam Ondra salutes the crowd once again, taking gold here.
Absolutely
in Kranj.
delighted.
He
What a
certainly
smile
is.
on his face.
He certainly is, and it's been a brilliant competition here in Kranj. We do now bid farewell to you, Seb. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a nice evening commentating here with you. Yeah, it has been a great way of spending my time, and as I just said, the time has been really running.
Yeah, it certainly has flown by, and we wish you all the best of luck for next season. Of course,
Thank
we
you a
hope to
lot.
see you back on the circuit and back at the top of the wall.
Thank you a lot. I'm going to give my best, and I'm going to come back next year.
We can't wait to see you. So, very good evening to Seb. We're going to now try and grab some interviews down on the stage. So, we will see you very, very shortly.
Medals will be presented by Alpine Association of Slovenia, Marko Skolaris, President of the International Federation of Sport Climbing. Bronze medalist representing from Austria, Jessica Pilz.
So you're now watching the overall podiums for the lead climbing. And you can see the podium, Jessica Pilz in bronze, Kim Zhang in second, and Mina Markovic in first.
Coming from Korea, Jang Kim. Slovenia Mina Markovic. Zato bomo danes, ker imamo zmagovalko skupnega pokala 2015, because we have champion here for the World Cup, we will listen to the national anthem of Slovenia, Zdravljica za Mino Markovic. Super aplauz za zmagovalko svetovnega pokala, plezanju, težavnost, Mina Markovic in za vse ostale. Bravo punce, bravo Mina. Takole, bravo punce. Sedaj pa, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our men IFSC International Federation Sport Climbing World Cup Lead 2015 for men. Iščemo najboljše tri v težavnostnem plezanju za leto 2015. Prav tako medals will be presented to Marcos Kolaris and Boreal Dotovnik iz Planinske zveze Slovenije. And bronze medalist representing Schubert Jakob, Austria. Bravo Jakob. Silver. Srebrna medalja v skupnem seštevku. Silver goes to represent France, Super Gautier. Viva la France! And the gold medal represent zlato medaljo bo zastopal za Češko republiko Ondra. Sedaj bomo slušali, and we will listen the national anthem because of the winner 2015 lead. Poslušali bomo himno Češke republike za Adama Ondra. One big applause, zdaj veliki aplauz za najboljše tri v težavnostnem plezanju. Show one together good photo from the stage number 1 podium. Best 3 2015 lead. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Women Climbing World Cup Combined 2015. Vabim ženske v kombinaciji za leto 2015. Medals will be presented by Jakob Schubert, predsednik Olimpijskega komiteja Slovenije. And flowers will be presented for Marko Skolaris, President International Federation of Sport Climbing Association. In imamo tretjo, and we have bronze medalists representing country of Japan, Yuka Kobayashi. So we have silver medalists representing srebrna medalja gre prav tako na Japonsko, goes to Gautier, Japan. In prvo mesto v kombinaciji first place Climbing World Cup Combined 2015 Sport Climbing.
Bolj nazaj, še nazaj, ok. Kar še bolj nazaj.
Zato, ker je zmagala v kombinaciji, because he won the title in combined 2015 Climbing World Cup, we will listen the
Samo njo, ja, samo njo.
Korea for Jain.
Mene ne rabiš. Po himni, najmo med himno.
Congratulations, maybe photo shooting all three on the first podium. Še skupno slikanje najboljših. Imamo kar azijsko zasedbo, so we have Asian
Kar rec mi, ko bomo.
on the first three podiums.
Kam?
Thank you girls, thank you hvala that you were coming to Kranj and that you got these medals, what you deserved.
V redu? Ja, povejte kam.
Dame in gospodje, še zadnja podelitev.
Ja, kam naj se postavim?
V kombinaciji skupno moški. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our man, Climbing World Cup Combined 2015 of International Federation for Sport Climbing.
Ok. Mina, čestitke za zmago tukaj v Kranju in seveda tudi v skupnem seštevku svetovnega pokala. Četrta zmaga tukaj v Kranju, tretja zmaga v skupnem seštevku, popolno. Ja, res je. Čeprav sem vedela, da sem res dobro pripravljena, nisem mislila, da vseeno zaključek bo tak, kot je bil, tak, da najlepši možni zaključek, res sanjsko vse skupaj in lahko rečem, da sem res ful vesela. Še besede dve o skupnem seštevku oziroma o celotni sezoni. Ja, cela sezona je bila res zelo v redu, čeprav sem je ob uni poškodbi v Briansonu kar malo zameglilo pred očmi in nisem imela natančne slike, kako bom nadaljevala, sem zagrizla in se borila naprej na polno in da kljub uni poškodbi sredi največje sezone, da mi je tole uspelo, je res fenomenalno. Hvala.
And the gold in zlata medalja, representing country of Czech Republic, Češko republiko, prihaja Adam Ondra. In ker je zmagovalec pobral vse lovorike, because he's a winner and he won all the categories, we will listen the national anthem, poslušali bomo himna Češke republike za Adama Ondro. Najlepša hvala za vsi, ki ste prišli. Thank you, vielen Dank, mille grazie that you were coming to Kranj, last stage of the World Cup. International Federations of Sport Climbing.
Janja, čestite za tretje mesto tukaj v Kranju, vaša premiera v svetovnem pokalu pa že kar na stopničkah, bravo.
Najlepša hvala. Ja, res pa zelo sem zadovoljna s svojim plezanjem v polfinalu in kvalifikacijah. V finalu se pač ni poklopilo, tako bi se moglo, pa se v pola se je naletilo, tako da vse sem zadovoljna. Prosim.
Še enega imam, ja. Lahko? Tina, lahko? Domen, četrto mesto v skupnem seštevku v težavnosti, ni se sicer išlo s stopničkami, ampak vseeno sezona je taka, kakršno ste si verjetno želeli.
Ja, sezona je tako, kot sem si želel. Skupen seštevek pač se ni šlo, ampak jaz sem zadovoljen, cilj je dosežen in pač želel sem si zmagati letos eno tekmo svetovnega pokala, to mi je ratalo. V bistvu sem zbral cel šop medalij letos, tako da ja, mislim, celotna sezona je bila odlična. Ja, na koncu se ni glih poklopil, ampak se nisem glih računal na to. Mislim pač, jaz sem sam računal na to, da uživam v Kranju, na to mi je ratalo. Mogoče bi se lahko boljše šlo, lahko bi tam stop najdel, pa bi bila se stvar kaj obrnila. Ampak to so tekme, tako da ja, jaz sem zadovoljen.
Hvala lepa in srečno prihodnje.
Hvala.
To je to, kar je izjav.
Okay, so I'm down here on stage with Adam, Ondra, and Adam, it's been an incredible weekend for you. How have you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it a lot. I was looking forward to it so much because I felt in quite tremendous shape actually, and in the end it turned out to be much harder than expected, and out of all the 3 wins that I made in Kranj, this one was the hardest one. But out of all, I think I wanted it the most, and I fought really hard in the last 2 moves and just barely made it, and just to think that it was enough for the overall victory in lead, that's amazing, because after quite tough start of the season when it wasn't going so well, winning overall in the lead, that was my goal, and I accomplished that.
And not just a win in Kranj, not just winning overall lead, but also the combined as well. 3 trophies for you on the podium for tonight.
Yeah, well, to be honest, the ultimate goal for the season was to win overall in bouldering and overall in lead, so I didn't win in boulder, and after that I was kind of like losing the motivation. Maybe it's not worth it, but it was worth it. It was definitely not very easy, but winning the last 2 World Cup was amazing, and now I'm done for at least 1 year. I will, for example, next season I will only go to Paris, and I can focus much more on the rock climbing and come back for the competition with a fresh motivation in 2 years, I would say.
Is that your plan then, to come back in 2 years and then take home all the trophies once again?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I need to climb outdoors. During the last 2 years, when I have been focusing so much on the competitions, I was climbing outdoors, but definitely not as much as I would like to, so I can't get back on the rock full time.
But do you enjoy these indoor competitions, though? You seem to have a brilliant time here.
For sure, it's, for example, here, as I've been going here since I was 14 years old, I know it here so well. I think the wall is amazing. It's short, but the routes are always set in a mode that you just don't get bored. It's just hard from the beginning, and just keep climbing, and the crowd here is amazing. The climbing is a very popular sport here in Slovenia, so every time many people turn up to watch, so it's really
the atmosphere is really loud in here tonight. Did that threaten to put you off at all, or did you keep it all together?
On the very top I was like so focused that I really ignored all the atmosphere, but it was helping me a lot in the lower section and in the middle, for sure.
And you mentioned to me just off camera before that because you didn't do as well in the semi-finals as you hoped, you had a quite different experience where you had to wait and watch all the other competitors in the final. How did you find that? You hated it?
I don't like it. I really like going out last into the final, because you fall and you know which place you are. I thought I did quite well when I fell, but I had no clue if it will be enough for the victory or not, so I was waiting and like watching the others, which are my friends, and wanting them to fall. That's pretty bad. I don't like that.
But you got the win in the end, so congratulations once again, and best of luck with the year off, and we'll hope to see you very soon.
Thank you.
Cheers, Adam. Thank you very much. I'll be speaking to Mina Markovic very shortly as well. Just waiting for one more interview and then the end shot. You just hold that microphone for me. I'm just going to grab Mina. Thank you. And Mina, just one more interview, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just for the live stream. You can frame that one up.
This win with
Gone really well for you. So it seems to have gone really well for you, especially at the end though. Everyone seems to be struggling with that star-shaped volume. It really did cause a lot of trouble, but everyone seemed to get close and then just fall off at the end.
yeah, maybe it was also a little bit of stress factor or maybe a little bit of luck, I don't know. So yeah, the star sequence, definitely the route started to get harder there and more intense, but just me for myself, I know that I did a little too less, I put a little too less weight on my legs, so it was able to do this move.
You certainly did. And talk us through your season, and a really, really good season for you, out on top in the lead and quite a lot of wins as well.
Yeah, definitely. How it turned out after this quite really bad injury in Briançon, that I managed to win almost one leg climbing in IMST and with still a big pain of the ankle. It was an amazing, and I really like how it turned out, and it's one of my prettiest seasons in my memory.
That's great to talk to you. Thank you very much for talking to us, and congratulations again.
Thank you. Can I maybe just say one word? I would really like to send really, really nice regards and cheering to John Allison and to Tats.
Certainly can. Thank you very much for talking to us, Mina, and we wish you all the best of luck for next year.
Thank you.
So that's Mina Markovic talking to us here at the IFSC Climbing World Cup here in Kranj. We do hope you have enjoyed it. It's been a terrific showcase of climbing all weekend long, from the qualifiers to the semis, all the way through to tonight's spectacular finals in Kranj. From everyone here in the team, here in Slovenia, it's a very good evening.